FTW Broadcasting presents Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Boom! SWTOR FTW is back. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's AWOL with FTW Broadcasting, and you guys have been asking for this Bounty Hunter Ultimate walkthrough video. I love Ultimate by Blue Stolly, by the way. Awesome track. And if you guys aren't already familiar with my Ultimate walkthrough series, spoiler alert, I bring you the story elements, weapons, abilities, armor, starships, all the videos, advanced classes, both of them. All of the confirmed information about this class is about to be brought to you right now in this video, so don't watch this video if you don't want your bounty hunter surprises and experiences spoiled before you actually play the game. So why should we be excited about the bounty hunter class? Well, the most iconic bounty hunter and the most famous bounty hunter of all time is Boba Fett from the original movies. Everybody remembers him. When he walks into those scenes, he kind of steals the scene. You're looking at him, you're wondering what he's going to do, and he kind of brings that tension to the scene like you see in old westerns. And I like that the dev team here from BioWare, it really wants to capture that element. Daniel Erickson says, if you want to talk about the tone of this character, look at like old western films. The bounty hunter, quote, is a guy with a gun who is going to roll into town and try to show the entire galaxy that he's the best that ever lived. And I love how they're trying to capture that badassness that you got from bounty hunters from the comics, from the novels, and from the movies. Let's check out this teaser video they gave us about a year ago, which gives us a nice flavor for the class, and then I'm going to get right into story elements. Enjoy it, guys.
The only law in this galaxy is the one a man makes for himself. The Sith may say otherwise, but even the Empire's reach has limits. That's why they hire bounty hunters. If you've earned a death mark, we'll be seeing each other real soon. Don't let it go to your head, though. To me, it's just another job.
Dive right into the basics about the bounty hunter class. Links to all of the resources I used to make this video are in the video description below, so check that out, guys. The best resource of which is this post on the SWTOR.com community forums. These are all of the confirmed facts about the bounty hunter class, and as I scroll down, you're going to see that they have general information, story information, weapons, armor, advanced classes. The list goes on and on and on of confirmed information, so I drew from this to make this video, so check that out, folks. And as you saw in that little preview video just a second ago, Hutta is the starting planet you're gonna begin at. This is where Hutt gangsters go to relax, very appropriate for a bounty hunter class, and you'll be able to play as one of 3 races. Well, the 2 confirmed ones are human, and you can also confirmed play as Ratataki. The unconfirmed one is Zabrak. I don't want to tell you that you can play as that yet because they have not confirmed that. Let's get right into the basic story elements as a bounty hunter. Now, you are a hunter, seeker, and killer for hire. As you know, countless enemies stand in the way of the Sith Empire's drive for domination. However, the Empire spares no expense in eliminating these threats. They offer massive bounties to employ the galaxy's most lethal bounty hunters. Earning a death mark from the Empire means a life spent in fear, constantly looking over your shoulder. It's never a question of whether the bounty hunter is going to find you, only when. I love that, and I'm going to pull up some footage right now of some story happening on Hutta at the beginning of the game. Now, though the Empire disapproves of the bounty hunter's fierce independence, exceptions are made for those who get results. I mean, a few individuals in the galaxy have the gall and stomach to deliver on these missions that these bounties are up for. Nonetheless, no one is irreplaceable in the Empire, and only the most proficient are the ones that get rehired as far as bounty hunters are concerned. So you have to prove yourself every time you do a mission for the Empire. Now, as the bounty hunters are far from a homogenous lot, they all come from different races and different affiliations and pursue their missions in their own unique ways. Now, some of them adhere to that rugged Mandalorian code of honor, while others answer only to their own moral compass. And the cool thing about this game is you're going to be able to pick what you want to do in the game, whether you want to kill, spare, or whatever when it comes to these missions. So that's very cool. A bounty hunter, in general, though, has no real sense of loyalty. Despite being kindred spirits, fellow bounty hunters cannot always be trusted. They will work together at times, but really, they just want the bounty. That's what they want in the end. Even the bounty hunters' employers harbor a hidden agenda with them, so they always have to be on the defensive. Shifting allegiances, unbeatable odds, and deadly showdowns are common in occurrences in the life of a bounty hunter, so it's going to be very exciting to play this class, and you aren't going to have to do it alone, folks. I'm going to go ahead and pull up these sites once again. I'm going to show you your various companion characters that you're going to be able to play as. I'm sorry, I don't have a picture of Blizz. However, this is a companion character a lot of people are pumped about. It is a Jawa companion character of the bounty hunter, and it is unconfirmed how you get Blizz, but it is confirmed that around level 25 or level 26, you will be able to have a little Jawa companion character. Also, you'll be able to play with Mako, which is the character you just saw in that video with the little story sequence, which is a human female who is a bounty hunter, and she was discovered by Braden on Nar Shaddaa, and she was hired by him to do intel and tech for those participating in the Great Hunt, which she is very knowledgeable about, and she's going to be a very cool companion character. And she also has stuff like healing mode, concussion shot. She's got a concussion shot kit, so she will be very, very cool. And she's got a minor bonus to cyber tech and has a major bonus to slicing, which is very, very cool. So going to be an awesome companion here. Also, you're going to have Skadge, who is a male Hook, lived during the Cold War, and one time he was betrayed by Hutt boss Suda Nemro, and he has the symbol of the Black Sun on his armor. Going to be very cool to have one of these guys around if you so choose to have him as your companion. And another one is going to be 2VR8, and I really don't have much information on him. He is a droid, and he will be serving your purposes. What exactly he's going to do for you, I don't know yet. However, this will be one of your companion characters, so I'm very, very pumped about that. Let's take a look at the first piece of the armor progression video, because we're going to get right in to weapons, armors, and abilities. If the Empire has to hire you to track down these tough targets, these must be difficult folks to take down. So you're going to need some exotic weaponry and some expensive weaponry to make this happen, and you aren't sparing any expense. As a bounty hunter, and I'm going to pull up concept drawings of a lot of this stuff, as a bounty hunter you will be using pistols. You'll be able to single wield and dual wield these. Also, you'll have a retractable blade in your arm to stab people. You can also use darts. Thermal detonators. I like how they're bringing that from the movies. Thermal detonators are awesome. You can use missiles and rockets, as well as a flamethrower, which they've been showing that off quite a bit in the preview videos. Very excited about that. As far as armor is concerned, the official Bounty Hunter armor progression videos shows everybody with heavy armor. I was thinking the Mercenary might have medium armor because he looks less armored than the Powertech, but according to the official confirmed information, heavy armor will be used all across the board for the Bounty Hunter class, which is going to be very cool. So you're going to have some CC as this class, you're going to have heavy armor, and you're also going to be able to do some DPS. So it looks like you're going to be a nice versatile middle-of-the-road class as a Bounty Hunter, which would make you very powerful in both PvE and PvP. I'm starting to get swayed towards the Bounty Hunter class. Luckily for us, there's a ton of information available about the abilities of the Bounty Hunter class, so here they are on the confirmed forums. As I go over these, I'm going to show you some footage that was captured from PAX East 2011 as well as E3 2011 of actual Bounty Hunter gameplay on Hutta. Here we go. The Bounty Hunter utilizes a heat system, So rather than having to worry about energy or mana, the bounty hunter must maintain a low equipment temperature. So, Vent Heat is an ability where the bounty hunter vents all heat buildup from firing weapons and reduces heat down to 0, allowing the bounty hunter to cause a second round of havoc without having to wait for heat to disperse. It's an instant with a 60-second cooldown, so basically you pop Vent Heat, all your cooldowns go away, and you blast him again. This should make the bounty hunter more viable as far as a bursty type hero and damage as far as damage is concerned. That could be very good for PvP. Rapid Shots is a default shot from the Bounty Hunter's blaster that builds no heat. You're going to see that a lot in the video. I think it's like a rapid succession of like 5 shots. It's your standard attack. Missile Blast, otherwise known as Wrist Rocket, fires a rocket at an enemy, doing a high amount of damage and knockdown to the first target and a lesser amount to enemies within a 5-meter radius. The ability can hit up to 3 targets, and it does generate some heat, and it is an instant. There's also Rail Shot, which is an extremely damaging attack that can only be used against stunned, sleeping, or burning enemies. It builds a significant amount of heat, however, it looks like it is a single target attack that you're going to use once targets are CC'd, probably to finish them off. Electro Dart is where you fire an electro dart out of your bracer at a target, and it causes them to be overloaded with electricity and stunned for 5 seconds. So you can electro dart a dude and then rail shot them and finish them off. Death from Above is one that we've seen from a lot of footage. The bounty hunter flies to a safe distance in the air and then lobs missiles at the selected ground region. All targets in this area take damage, so it's a nice AoE, and the first rocket knocks all 10 targets down to the ground. Very, very cool ability there, which I'm wondering if you're going to get protection by flying from a safe distance. I think, at the very least, it will pull you out of melee range so you can only take ranged damage. Cryoblast is another one. It's a single target or flamethrower-like AoE cone, so you can choose between the two, that freezes one enemy or a group of enemies into ice. This does not break on damage. So you will see that, you did see that in that original video that I showed you. He goes ahead and uses this on everybody and then flamethrowers them all to kill them all. Very cool. Rocket Punch. It's a Shoryuken-esque style melee attack, and it does build up heat. Rocket Punch. Flamethrower is a medium range attack, which is a cone DOT, damage over time, and lesser enemies are going to panic when you do this, and obviously Flamethrower builds up heat. Power Shot is a special blaster attack that does moderate damage and also builds up heat, so just another nice ability to use in a chain. Energy Shield, every class seems to have a bubble or shield of some type. Why wouldn't a bounty hunter? It's a shield that surrounds the bounty hunter, absorbing a percentage of incoming blaster fire, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So, you go ahead and engage your energy shield, and then you go do Death from Above and fly above them and shoot them with rockets, and now you're protected from their range damage, and they can't hit you in melee. Nice little combo there. Determination removes all movement impairing effects, so you'll be able to run away. You also have Chaff Flare, which fires several flares at a target area, revealing any stealthers. Flares last for 10 seconds. Also going to be awesome for PvP. You guys are starting to see the utility in this class, right? Oil Slick. A bounty hunter fires oil out of his left bracer in a cone in front of him. Targets that are affected are snared and have their elemental resistances lowered. Even more utility. On the trail, you get an HP regen and heat reduction. A nice little passive there, which has a 60-second duration, but a 20-minute cooldown, and is for out of combat only, so going to be very good, obviously, when you're on the trail to another section of the level. Hunter's Brawn is a group-wide attack damage buff with an hour duration. So even more utility, a sort of an aura there. Also, there's Hunter's Guard, which is the armor version of this, with an hour duration. So you can bump your group's attack damage and armor. Very cool. Thermal Sensor Override allows the use of a single ability even when you're overheated, or while having too much heat to activate that ability, and it disables natural heat exhaust rate for 3 seconds. So if you're in a real tight spot, pop Thermal Sensor Override and you'll be able to use the ability of your choice. And also there's one called Recharge and Reload, which is a gradual health and mana it says mana, but I'm pretty sure they mean heat. Restorative ability akin to eating or drinking in World of Warcraft, and it has an animation where the bounty hunter tunes up his jetpack and his flamethrower and is kind of playing around, and it's a channeled ability, and it just lets you regen more or less like resting, eating, or drinking. So that'll be good in missions when you're about to go fight a boss. Well, that was the bounty hunter abilities. Let's take a look at that armor progression for Powertech, and we're going to get right into your advanced classes. Powertech is the advanced class I am considering for my alt, if not my primary. Why? Because Powertech is a tanking advanced class for bounty hunters, which focuses heavily on the use of gadgets, energy shields, and flamethrowers. So what does this mean? This means you're going to be able to take the alpha, do AoE fire damage to people, debuff people, CC people. I mean, you're a bounty hunter, and you're going to be able to survive and come out in the end an absolute gangster. And if you're wondering how you're going to do this, let's get into the specifics of your abilities. And here we are on the SWTOR.com Advanced Classes Details page. And I'm going to go ahead and click this flamethrower arm here, which means that we're looking at Bounty Hunter, and we're going to look at Powertech right now. Now, you have 3 different trees that you can go down, as with any advanced class. Shield Tech is one, Advanced Prototype, and then Firebug is your shared tree between Powertech and Mercenary. Shield Tech is obviously the one that boosts the Powertech's defensive technology, allowing him to soak up attacks. This is obviously your tanking tree. The 2 abilities featured here are Jet Charge, which allows you to jump to a distant target, do X amount of damage, root them in place for 3 seconds, and you can't use it on targets that are in cover, obviously, because it'd be nearly impossible to dive bomb someone that's hiding behind something. The other ability they're featuring here is Combust, which is a passive, which basically means that your flamethrower attacks combust targets, lowering their damage that they do by 6%. So basically you're a tank, you jump in, you flamethrower everybody, now all of their damage is debuffed, which allows you to survive for longer. Very good. This is only a little bit of details here. Let's get into more details on the confirmed post on SWTOR forums. Shield Tech, you are going to have Carbonite Shield. We have no details on that. Carbonize, I'm not sure. I think that's going to be some sort of CC attack where you actually cover somebody in carbonite perhaps and freeze them, like you saw in that video a moment ago when he carbonated those bug-like creatures and then flamethrowered them to death. You'll have Flame Shield, which may be a flame resistance move. Improved Shield Generator, that's probably going to be a generic bubble damage mitigation, I would imagine. Kolto Overload, I don't know what that is, but that's probably some sort of ultimate attack. Prototype Electro Surge, maybe an ultimate attack, we can't be sure right now. And then Jet Charge and Combust, we already went over that just a moment ago. Let's take a look at the next tree, which is Advanced Prototype. Now this is sort of a damage tree. There's also CC and utility in this tree as well. The latest technology makes the Powertech a versatile fighter against any enemy. And let's check out the 2 featured abilities here. Meltdown, your passive, your Immolate and Retractable Blade now have a 20% chance to make your next flamethrower channel twice as fast and tick twice as frequently. Very good there. And also you're going to have Immolate, which is a spray of fuel hits and a burning target igniting a fireball that does X amount of damage to a target and X amount to 3 nearby enemies. That target must be burning, so this is going to be part of a chain fire attack, which deals additional fire damage. And I don't know, as a general rule in MMOs, fire does the most damage in any game, so I'm really excited about this. Hopefully that rule comes true, because this is going to be my alt or primary. Let's take a look at some more details on the Advanced Prototype here on the confirmed page. Once again, not really any confirmed information, but we know the names of the abilities that people have deciphered from playthroughs and looking at screenshots. Most of this is thanks to DarthHater.com, so thank you to Darth Hater. The ability names are Burnout, Flame Barrage, Molten Fury, Powered Gauntlets, I'm interested in that one. Prototype Heat Dampers, that's probably a cooldown reduction. Pyrotech, I would imagine that's going to be some sort of cooldown reduction or damage enhancement passive. Retractable Blade, no doubt you're going to have a retractable blade in your arm so you can stab people in the neck. Sonic Disruptor, that looks like that's going to be some sort of CC. And Meltdown and Immolate, which are the ones that we already went over a moment ago. Now, the shared tree is what we need to take a look at now. Firebug, and Firebug concentrates on burning opponents with missiles and technology, of which you've seen in almost all of the preview videos. Let's check out the two featured abilities here in this shared tree between Powertech and Mercenary. The first one is Incendiary Missile, which has a 30-meter range, fires a missile at an enemy doing X amount of elemental damage, and applying a burn that deals X over time for 15 seconds. Very good. I think that's the one where he kind of hunches forward and launches the giant missile out of his back, or it could be the arm missile. I'm not positive as to which of the missiles that one is. And also Prototype Particle Accelerator. Your incendiary missile damage has a 30% chance to finish the cooldown on Rail Shot and to remove its heat cost. This effect can only happen every 10 seconds, so it looks like this is going to create a chain buff for you between Incendiary Missile and Rail Shot, which is going to encourage those two moves to be used subsequently. There's more information here on the confirmed page, and let me scroll up to that for you. And Firebug, here we have tons of information about this Firebug shared tree, so let's look at it right now. And as I go over this, I'm definitely going to show you some screenshots of just some regular bounty hunter footage. I don't have Powertech footage available, there's none out there, so check out this bounty hunter footage while I tell you about this stuff. Devastation is an increased missile/fire damage passive. You have Endurance, which increases your HP and rank, which is a passive. That rank part of that confuses me. I don't know what they mean by rank, but we will find out. Puncture, which makes Rail Shot bypass 20% of armor and also gives Power Shot some critical damage. So it looks like a lot of these shared tree abilities are passives. Incendiary Accelerant. Incendiary Missile receives a % bonus chance to deal damage over time. And you can stack that 5 times evidently. So if you shoot like a boss with 5 missiles, you can stack this passive. Incendiary Missile itself does fire damage over time and ticks over 12 seconds. So it looks like you can stack a bunch of buffs on Incendiary Missile and it will gangster people. Chain Reaction increases your aim, which is accuracy. So there is going to be an accuracy element to this game because people are going to be able to dodge and deflect. Increases your accuracy for 15 seconds with a critical hit and a tech damage attack. That is a passive. Prototype Heat Dampeners receives critical hits, granting a 50% chance to vent heat passively. So that has a 3-second cooldown. So when you receive critical hits from enemies, you might be able to vent heat and all your cooldowns will pop with this passive. That's going to be very, very powerful, especially as a power tech since you're going to be tanking. Missile Volley reduces your heat by your missile from your missile blast and adds a 15% chance to launch a second missile that deals half damage at no cost. That's crazy. So when you launch your missile attack, you have a passive to launch an additional missile. That seems like an insane passive, and that doesn't really make sense to me, but I approve. There's also Prototype Burn Enhancers, which increases critical damage on time-based attacks, which are pretty much all of your flame attacks. There's Prototype Flamethrower, which reduces heat from flamethrower attacks by 5% and increases your flamethrower damage by 10%. So you guys are seeing a trend here, right? This Firebug skill tree is a bunch of passives. Prototype Weapon Loader increases your critical damage and gives some of your abilities damage over time. Culto Inhibitor Dart deals damage and reduces a target's healing by 20% for 10 seconds. That is an active ability, so that's going to be useful for PvP. Culto Inhibitor Dart reduces healing, which means you'll be able to take down tanks with that. So thanks to everyone who was able to put together this information, Darth Hater, Gaming Fanatic, as well as the official Advanced Classes page. Let's get right into the Mercenary because we've got tons of details about that. Mercenary is going to be your second of the 2 advanced classes for Bounty Hunter. As you're probably guessing, this is your Deepers, your DPS, your damage dealers. So DPS people, pay attention, because this class is going to focus heavily on dual wielding and the use of wrist-mounted rocket launchers. Who doesn't like that? And they can also be spec'd to be healers if you go down the bodyguard tree. I know, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to look at that here in just a minute. However, in the meantime, I've got actual footage of Mercenary gameplay I'm going to put up on the screen for you to check out while I give you this amazing description of the class. I love this. Very well written. If the best defense is a good offense, then the Mercenary's got the most intimidating defense in the galaxy. Heavily modded blasters and deadly heat-seeking missiles make the Mercenary a mobile weapons platform. There's no problem extra firepower can't solve. God only knows that. And you do not want to get in between a Mercenary and his target. I'm not questioning that. Let's take a look at the advanced classes page here on SWTOR.com. I'm going to pull you out of that footage, bring you over here. We're going to pull into this firearm. Click on Mercenary. By the way, links in the video description below to all this stuff I'm looking at, guys, so check it out if you want to do your own research. Arsenal is going to be your DPS tree, and Bodyguard's going to be that healing tree. Really, really interesting. Let's discuss this in a minute. Let's take a look. Arsenal uses advanced rocketry and specializes in taking down targets quickly. This is going to be a bursting tree, which may be pretty useful in PvP, folks. Let's check this out. Light them up. It's a passive. Puts a tracer missile with a 100% chance to add 2 heat signature stacks on a target instead of 1. Okay, so tracer missile normally puts 1. This makes it put 2. So what the heck do these signature stacks, these heat signature stacks, do for you? It's revealed right here. He's heat-seeking missiles. 30-meter range. That seems to be the standard long-range amount. Fires several missiles that hone in on a target and do X amount of retarded damage. That's the biggest damage amount I've ever seen in my advanced class videos. Look at that. It's in the thousands. This damage is increased by 3% per heat signature on the target. So in PvP or PvE, looks like you can stack over and over and over again these heat signature stacks and then heat seeker missile them over and over and over again, just doing dirty amounts of damage. That's going to be really, really cool. So let's check out more information about this on the confirmed forums. Unfortunately, there isn't more information on Arsenal as well as Bodyguard, so what you see is what you get on the advanced class page. Sorry guys, I will do an update video later when a significant amount of additional information comes along. So let's get right in and check out the Bodyguard tree. This gives the bounty hunter skills and technology to heal and restore allies. Real interesting that the DPS class is getting healing as well, right? So Culto Shell, with a 30-meter range, a shell of Culto energy surrounds a target, and when the target takes damage, they're healed for X amount. 10 charges last for 5 minutes, and heal can only happen every 3 seconds, so it looks like you can get healed 10 times with 10 different sources of damage for X amount. Very, very cool little support ability. Put that on your tank, put that on your Powertech, put that on your Sith Warrior, put that on your Juggernaut, and they will be good to go. Or put it on your squishies. Alright, check it out here. Reactive armor. It's a passive. When you do proactive medicine, it also provides 10% armor while active. Now, whether proactive medicine is its own move or it's a category of moves, which would include stuff like this, Culto Shell, I'm not sure, but it looks like whenever you use things under the category of proactive medicine, you'll also be giving your ally a armor buff. Let's discuss this real quick. Why is this DPS class have healing? Well, this is sort of a common theme between all the advanced classes that we've looked at so far. They all have 2 purposes, if not 3 purposes, to give each class some additional utility in groups. They don't want all of these classes to be monochromatic, to only be good at one thing, and this is something that I can support. One of my favorite MMOs of all time, City of Villains, did this, and all of their classes had 3, if not 4 different types of utility, different types of things that they could do, which made them even more useful and even more interesting to play, because you're not just doing one type of thing while you're playing. I like it. I like the options available here. Not to mention, you can go down the Firebug tree as well and get yourself some even more fire damage and passives there. So I do support this idea of utility. Alright, I cut together some cinematic shots here. It's going to be a little jarred, but I want you to check these out because these are really cool animations of the bounty hunter. Check these out, and then we're going to get right into your starship. I know that bounty hunter footage was a bit jarring there. I have to edit out all the Jedi stuff to get to that juicy bounty hunter footage. And by the way, that bounty hunter chick is totally deadly. Love those trailers. Now, if you're not already aware, you are now, that every class will have its own unique starship available to them. Bounty hunter is no exception with the D5 Mantis Patrol Craft, manufactured by Quat Drive Yards, KDY. This is a rare, best-in-class vehicle. The D5 Mantis is an alpha predator in the cold depths of space. Designed to meet the hefty demands of larger interdiction vessels, the Mantis has a compact frame and above all is designed to fight. That makes sense, you are a bounty hunter. By employing 3 retractable weapon foils with independent power supplies, the Mantis is capable of safely utilizing armament intended for way bigger ships. However, it has reduced its profile significantly in order to tightly pack these into carrier ships so that you can launch multiple Mantis crafts out in surprise attacks on those Republic scum. To mitigate what would otherwise be an extremely cramped interior, the engineers of the D5 Mantis make efficient use of vertical space and minimized bulkheads to provide more open areas to ensure ease of access for maintenance workers. Now, due to the prohibitive cost of building a completely independent, long-range picket ship, the Mantis has never seen large-scale production. I mean, these are expensive. If you spot one, it is a very rare sight because the person driving that ship has a ton of cash, and as a bounty hunter, well, those bounties are going to be big, so you're going to be raking in the Imperial credits, my friends. That is your ship. You will be able to engage in space combat with the D5 Mantis actual space combat, where you're going to be riding sort of rail style, Star Fox style, where you're going through space, dodging asteroids, shooting anything that comes along your path, dodging missiles, dual barrel roll, etc. with this ship. And the people that have been able to play ship combat in beta, they have been able to say that they've enjoyed it. They can't give us any details because that is against the rules, but thumbs up from players so far in space combat, so I will bring you more details on that when it becomes available. Thank you so much for sitting through the almost 40 minutes of information I brought you about the Bounty Hunter class. I spend a ton of time putting together these videos because you're asking for them, and I'm just pumped about this game. I don't know if you could tell. If you want to check out our previous episode, click up in the top left-hand corner, and if you want to check out our next episode, click up in the top right-hand corner, and in the center of the screen, I'm going to have links to all of my ultimate walkthrough videos. They're getting longer and longer and longer over time because more and more information has been available. Please do me a favor, guys. Tell your friends about my videos, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and more than anything, I want your feedback in the comments below. Let me know how I can improve these videos moving forward. As we get closer to release, I'm going to just continue to do in-depth videos, cover updates, news, do commentaries. I'm going to be engaging in shows, and once the game's actually released, we're going to do strategy videos, PvP, PvE, raids. I mean, we're going to do it all. We're going to be your ultimate resource for video footage and coverage as far as SWTOR is concerned, so stay tuned to FTW Broadcasting and click subscribe down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Also, you can check out our playlist. This is episode number 21, I believe. Click in the bottom right-hand corner on that green link if you want to check out our playlist. We have a plethora of videos available already. Now, in the center of the screen, I'm going to pull up a banner for our sponsor, mensclothing.org. They are allowing me to put this awesome music in the background. I have to contract this music. Thank you so much to our sponsor. They're just a fan who wanted to support us. Click the link in the video description below to mensclothing.org/FTW. Click it 6 times if you would. Support them, and by doing that, you're supporting us and saying that you appreciate our efforts. Thanks to our sponsor. All right, guys, I hope you're pumped about the Bounty Hunter class now. I know I am, and I'll see you in the Star Wars universe.